Prediction markets on Polymarket are absolutely going crazy. So now remember, this is a $20 account that we were able to run to $1,000 in less than 5 days. So now check this out. Today we had a very amazing trade. We were able to cross the $1,000 threshold. And if you take a look at my history, I was able to cash in. As you can see right over here, it was sold and we were able to get out at 83 cents per share as far as Bitcoin is concerned. So right now I do not have any open orders right now, so everything is good and we are about to go. So if you take a look at my weekly performance, it's been around 718, which is absolutely crazy. Anyhow, let me give you the Polymarket Bitcoin up and down price prediction for Bitcoin so that you guys can understand how to play the game jumping into tomorrow. So what I usually concentrate on is the 4-hour and the daily time frame. So the daily time frame is my bread and butter. All you have to do is beat the specific price target that they have given you. So now the question is, will the price of Bitcoin go below 87,560, or is it going to be higher than that? So all you have to do is select yes or no, and these are the specific shares that are here. So now you see, 21 hours from now is a very long period of time, but what are the odds of that happening? So generally we are in a downtrend, and I've been playing the down bets for the past 3 days or so because the odds of us going to the downside are absolutely high. So one thing that you always have to do is when you have like a demarcation, all you have to do is put it on your price chart so that you can have a mental picture of what you are dealing with. So if we go back to Polymarket, where we are targeting 87,560, so we go to 87,560. Let's go to a smaller time frame, 87,560, right over there. This pink line, as you can see, is our price target. So if you take a look at other time frames, right, the 4 hours is having a lot of momentum, and we know for a fact that this is our ultimate order block, which is very, very bearish. So right now it's very premature for us to sort of decide if the price is going to be lower or higher than this, and this is one of the reasons why I cannot take a trade right now. So what I'm looking for is signs of exhaustion as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Moreover, we've been doing very well, especially when it comes to the 24-minute time frame. And if you look at the momentum of the smaller time frames, we have a lot of momentum. Okay, we had a very good bearish or rather bullish divergence right over here, and we ended up pushing up. Okay, so that is a good sign. So the odds are tomorrow is still going to be very bullish. I mean, it's not really necessarily going to be very bullish, but we do have situations where it can go either ways. And moreover, if you guys were trading this, because I was, there was a lot of weeks that were happening. So if you were trading, if you were betting on Polymarket on a 1 hour, you would have been crashed. And this is one of the reasons why it's very important for you to stick to the 4-hour and the 24-hour time frame. Okay, so what I'm expecting the price to do is go grab that liquidity at 89,700. So there is a possibility, a slight possibility, like a 55% chance that the price could push up and then get rejected. Moreover, let me give you this particular context. If you take a look at the weekly time frame of Bitcoin, right, this is a clear downtrend, and this particular push that we had is just an ABC correction. It's an AB correction, and the trend is going to continue towards the downside. So we basically bounced off of the 82,000 level, and what's going to happen is eventually we are going to crash through it and target this liquidity zone right over here. But for that to happen, it's not going to happen instantly. Okay, so if you look at it from a grand scheme of things, right, Bitcoin is absolutely bearish. However, we flip to the 3-day time frame. What is happening on the 3-day time frame? The 3-day time frame is just getting momentum towards the downside. Okay, we're just starting to sort of create this downward trajectory, and we're pushing towards the downside. If we look at the 1-day time frame, it's also the same story. We are having downward momentum. So we go to the weekly time frame. This is what we have on the weekly time frame. It's not even close to finding its exhaustion levels, okay, because we need a pattern like that. And if you take a look at the convergence of these lines, it's really far off. So the reason why I took time to break down that for you is so that you wouldn't get caught up in moments of a particular market pullback, because the general trend is still towards the downside. However, most of the lucrative wagers you're going to put up are going to come from reverse psychology. The reason why I'm not really taking the trade right now is, the odds right over here, 52 to about 51. It's not really a lucrative move for me to get in right now. I would rather wait for the price to sort of push towards the upside. When everybody thinks it's not going to drop, that's when I get in. Moreover, do you remember yesterday's episode, right? Yesterday's episode was a grand portrayal of why it's very important for you to sort of play reverse psychology when it comes to prediction markets, because the biggest amounts of money that you're going to be able to make is when the shares are sort of very cheap. When they're very cheap and then the odds tilt towards your bet, right? Then you're obviously going to be able to make money. So the ideal scenario for me is getting to jump in when the shares for the for the downside are minus, or rather under 30 cents per share. You understand? Because if I get in, let's say for example at 15 cents per share, right? Because we are pushing up and everybody's mentality is like, oh no, it's going to go to 102. If we're pushing up, right, and we reach moments of exhaustion like that, and we sort of have our last line of pumping, if I can put it that way, getting in at this particular level, especially when everybody's betting towards the upside, is going to be one of the most lucrative things that you're ever going to do. However, in today's scenario, right, and for the next 24 to 48 hours, all you have to do is wait for the price to reach its exhaustion point. So where we're standing right now is there's quite a lot of resistance here, based on the fact that the support right over here has turned into some sort of resistance. However, the liquidity is right around this level, around the 89. So it depends on where we consistently close. If we consistently close below this support turned into resistance, then this particular level is going to be the highest point. But at this particular moment, right, it's premature for us to assume that this particular point of support has turned into absolute resistance. So we have to give it some time. Moreover, I already made good trades. I already made my money for today. So I'm just going to chill and wait for the highest odds that are unlikely to a lot of people, that seem unlikely to a lot of people. This is a type of trade that I usually go for, and I usually make like a 4x, a 5x, and so on and so on. Okay, so going back to the fourth hour, right, or the 4-hourly time frame. Look, we're just gearing up. We don't have any signs of exhaustion, so it's premature for me to consider the 24-hour time frame, because hey, who knows, maybe it's just beginning to pick some steam and it's going to push towards the upside. Even though we're going to push towards the upside, I'm not going to take this trade. I'm not going to bet towards the upside because we are in indecision zones. You see, I only like taking bets when the markets are absolutely guaranteed to move in my favor. And due to the fact that I've got extensive market experience because I've been doing this for close to a decade, I understand these markets like the back of my palm, or rather the back of my hand. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why by the way, let me even explain how I was able to get today's trade right. So if you go to portfolio right over there, okay, and then you take a look at the today's trade, right? Let's simply check this one out. So I took it between 8 a.m. to about 12 p.m. ET, and I was able to get in at 54 cents. With around 667, I was able to get in around $400, which was like around 70%. So what I did and what prompted me to get in is because everybody was betting towards a downside. So we were like literally around so I was betting for the price to go above 87,200, and we were literally around these levels, these levels after the crazy weeks. Now these are the things that a lot of newbies consider manipulation. I'm sure to those of you who were participating in today's markets, you obviously saw the price push up and then reverse, and then it sort of maintained and it never went back up. So what I did is I entered after the retest of this particular order block. So once I saw that, okay, this is absolutely fit, it's not going to go lower, I put in my trade, and then I was able to get in. So even though the markets are wobbly and shaky, I was still able to make my money. And these are a lot of trades that we take in our private group. So if you guys want to have a heads up on the 4-hourly prediction markets as far as Polymarket Bitcoin up and down is concerned, or the daily time frame, because like I told you, I mostly trade the daily time frame and the 4-hourly. So join our group. Our website is, or rather you can join us by going to nas.io/cryptohype, nas.io/cryptohype/community. So this one right over here is our URL, and this is where, the magic happens. So this is basically what we do. This is the URL. It's going to be in the description box below. So if you guys are tired of losing, please let me know. And we're going to be doing this on a daily basis. Moreover, even if you do not join, you can always check out my YouTube videos. I've already given you the blueprint for tomorrow. I've already told you my thoughts, so you can utilize that, build your portfolio up, make some money. If you find value in what I do, then you can either join my group. So whatever you decide to do is absolutely up to you. I'm just trying to build a community of powerful traders. Okay, so yeah, in conclusion, as far as tomorrow's predictions are concerned, or today's bets going into tomorrow, I'm waiting for more clarification. There's a lot of time for us to get in, and the price that we need to bid is 87,560. The highest odds are we're probably going to close below it, but certain things have to happen. I'm waiting for clarity, especially on the 4-hour, because what's really preventing me from jumping into this particular bet is the 4-hour. The 4-hour looks very dangerous, and there's a probability that we can push towards this bullish order block at 89,000. So that can happen. So personally, I would rather short the markets and bet towards the downside when we get rejected around these levels right over here. So if we end up getting ferociously rejected at this level and we start pushing towards the downside, I would rather get into bets once we break this level. So you get my point, right? I would rather short and bet towards the downside either here, or if the price goes below this level. Anything in between, you're playing a very dangerous game. That's like pretty much guesswork. So if you understand how I'm explaining and the things that I'm looking for, it's very easy for you to get it right. you bet on the short side below this level, okay, or after the rejection of that level. It's either you do it on top or at the bottom here, because it shows momentum and the highest probability that your trade is going to go in your favor. I really hope that you guys appreciate the amount of honesty and selflessness this takes to sort of share with you, because I can literally be printing all these amounts of money in silence, which is actually the very best thing to do. So obviously, I don't know, this might be the last month that I'm going to be sharing this to the world. So after this month, I'm just going to be doing it by myself and my group. So this is one of the reasons why the slots are definitely limited, because we're just going to be silent, we're going to be working, and we're just going to be pushing in silence. So how are you guys playing the markets? Are you guys active participants on the Polymarket, Bitcoin up and down? Please let me know in the comment section below, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll give you updates on what the price of Bitcoin is going to do for the next 24 to about 48 hours.